In this video, let's learn how to graph simple linear inequalities. Inequality is anything that makes use of these symbols. Alright, so these are the different inequality symbol. First is the greater than symbol. Second is the less than symbol. Next is the greater than or equal to symbol. So you see there's a line under the greater than. So you read it as greater than or equal symbol. Next is the less than or equal symbol. See, there's a less than and the equal, the line under the less than symbol. And then the last one is the not equal symbol. So make sure you remember the different symbols and the names of each symbol. Now, in graphing inequalities, you need this guide. So if you use less than, greater than, or the equal symbol on your graph, you should see an open circle. Okay, you should use open circle if you're using with these symbols. But if you're using a less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, no, see these lines under? On your graph, you should use the solid or the closed circle. Okay, so make sure you remember this guide to graphing. Now let's proceed to examples. All right, so our first example is show the graph of x greater than -1. Okay, now one thing that you need to know is that when you graph, you have to make sure that the variable is in the left side. Okay, so here our variable is in the left side, so we can now graph this immediately. So to graph, first is to determine if this is an open or closed circle. So you see this symbol greater than. So if you go back to our guide, a greater than symbol means open circle. So we're using open circle, and we just go to this number, -1, and we put an open circle at the top of it. Okay, and then next is to make array. You will know which direction, if it's left or right, depending on the pointed part here. So in our inequality, the pointed part is to the right, so therefore we make an array to the right. Okay, and ends with an arrow. So that's the graph. Next example, we show the graph of this 3 greater than x. Okay, again, remember when you graph, you have to make sure that the variable is on the left side. And as you can see in here, our variable is on the right. So we can, what we need to do is, if x is not on the right spot, we just need to flip everything. So we switch the left and the right side. So this becomes x and then 3 here, and then we also flip this inequality. So from a greater than, it becomes the opposite, less than. All right. And now, because the variable is on the left side, we can now graph. So we just need to go to this number, +3, and determine if this is an open or closed circle. So as you can see, the symbol is less than. So from our guide, that's an open circle. All right. And then it's a less than. See the pointed part? The pointed part is towards the left side. So we make an array towards the left, all the way to the left with an arrow. So that's the graph of this inequality. Our next example is x greater than or equal to -1. Okay, so to graph this, the variable must be on the left side, and it's already in the left, so we don't need to do the flipping. Now we just go to this number, -1, and determine if this is an open or a closed circle. So as you can see, it's a greater than with a line under, greater than or equal to. So therefore, this is a closed circle. So I will make a closed circle on top of -1, and then the pointed part towards the right. So I will make array all the way to the right, right? That's the graph, closed circle and array to the right. All right, our next example is 0 greater than or equal to x. Again, when you graph the variable, that x must be on your left side. If it's not, then you just need to switch the left and the right. So I will switch x and 0, and then you have to flip the opposite of this symbol, greater than. So from greater than, it will become less than, and there's a line under, or equal to. Okay, so now our variable is on the left side. We can now graph. So go to this number, 0, and is it a closed or open circle? With this symbol, that's a closed circle. Go back to our guide, and then the arrow up, the pointed part is towards the left side, so we make array all the way to the left and ends with an arrow. So that's the graph. Okay, our last example is show the graph of x is not equal to 0. All right, so for the not equal symbol, So first, just go to this number, 0, okay? And then the not equal symbol from our guide is an open circle. So you make an open circle on top of 0. And then, because we don't know if it's going left or right, so for the not equal symbol, just make array to the left and right. Array to the right and to the left. So this is how you graph the not equal symbol.